In this video, I'm gonna reveal the #1 secret that escorts know that wives never learn, and how you can use this knowledge to improve your dating and your relationships with women. And look, I was married for 20 years and I've been single for 3 years, and my wife took me for granted. I was a good husband, a provider, but she got complacent with me and just kind of took me for granted. And then all of a sudden, I decided to leave after 20 years. And this one secret that wives just need to learn, but they don't, and this is what escorts know. All right, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm a silver bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and a notification button because I'm dropping videos every week. But first, if you didn't realize, I created an ebook, and that ebook is 100 pages. It's $4.99, basically the price of a beer, and it will teach you how to date women that are younger than you, the do's and don'ts. But if you don't like to read, I got you covered because I narrated and recorded an audiobook myself. It's 2 hours, and you can get that for free, and you can get either one at the link below. So let's get into this video. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I was married before. My wife, and I'm speaking for most wives out there, they need to take a chapter out of the book from Escorts. Now, why am I saying escorts? And not that I hired escorts per se in the past. However, I was a sugar daddy for 1 year, and there are a lot of sugar babies that would prefer a more transactional situation where they hang out with you, but there's also intimacy as well. And at the end of the day, I'm just taking a look at my notes. At the end of the day, whether it's an escort or a sugar baby, and especially if they know there's an exchange for money, for sex, and money and sex go hand in hand. These escorts know that they need to look good, they need to treat you well, there's no drama, they need to show up on their best behavior, because otherwise the client is going to bounce. And that secret that they know is options. Okay, stick around to the end because I'm gonna teach you how you can increase your options in dating. The 3 things specifically that you can increase your options in dating, and not talking about escorts. But escorts realize, wait a minute, this guy has options, and so if I'm not on my best behavior, if I'm not treating him nice, not giving him what he wants, he's gone. The client is gonna go and he's going to hire another woman, right? Wives, on the other hand, they get very complacent, right? They get very complacent, and they slowly start testing. They slowly start testing to see how much they can get away with, so they put in less and less effort. And you know what? It's no different than most employees. Did you know this? Brian Tracy, one of my favorite authors, has said this in one of his books. He said that people only typically work 60% of the day. They're hired to work an 8-hour day, basically, but they only actually work 60% of that, excluding the lunch. The rest of the time, they're surfing the web, they're checking their phone, whatever it is, they're wasting time. So imagine in a marriage, over time, she is going to put in less and less effort in herself and in you, because she knows she can get away with it. And most good men out there, what happens is they don't want to cause problems in the relationship, right? They don't confront, they don't nip the bad behavior at the beginning. And this, by the way, this has to happen before you even getting married. Like, there needs to be some clarity around, look, I will not tolerate this, I will not accept this. And this video is not about the things that you need to do in a marriage or before your marriage to make sure she's not taking advantage of you or taking you for granted. But it's no different than a typical employee. Most employees start to figure out pretty early on what they can get away with, and then they try to get away with a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then they have a performance review, and their boss kind of nips that thing in the ass. Well, most good husbands don't nip anything in the ass, and that's the problem. And then eventually, and it was in my case 20 years later, basically, this has happened over time. I'm a little embarrassed to share this, but basically I was a doormat. right? She's walking all over me, doing whatever she wants because I bought into this whole happy wife, happy life bullshit. And so escorts are very, very familiar, very aware of they need to be on their best behavior. Otherwise that money is cut off. Unlike wives who don't learn about from that. And then they start to wonder, they got all upset. They go on TikTok and start crying. Oh, my husband left me, this and this and this. Yeah, bitch, because you didn't learn that, wait a minute, a man has options, and that's what I'm going to get into now is how do you have even more options, especially when you're dating, right? Not married, but you're dating. How do you have more options, okay? And this part, if you've stuck around this long, this will teach you how to be in the top 10% of single men out there in terms of the options that they have, okay? These three things. Number one, good looks, but hold on. Let me explain this. When I say good looks, I'm not just talking about your face. I'm talking about the package, what you look like physically, okay? So what you look like physically, if you go to the gym and you take care of your body, that is already going to separate you from most men. If you don't believe me, next time you're out at a restaurant, sitting at the bar, look around you. Look around you at the men over 40. What do their bodies look like? Most men over 40, their bodies look like shit. Already you can separate yourself from all the sea of men out there over 40 by getting yourself to the gym. But it doesn't stop there in terms of looks. It's proper grooming. I see men with crazy hairstyles, crazy looking beards. They have no hair growing out of their nose, hair growing out of their ears. They have eyebrows all over the place. It's pathetic, man. And then they wonder why they have to rely on dating apps and they get no matches on dating apps, or they're getting like the bottom barrel of women. So your looks consists of your body, your grooming, and then last is your style. If you dress like a grandpa and you have completely clueless on how to dress, then that also is not going to make you look very attractive, okay? And the reality is women find 80% of men not attractive, and it's no wonder why, because 80% of men don't go to the gym, don't take care of themselves, don't take care of grooming, and don't even put any attention at all to their style. So that's number one, is your looks. Number two, obviously this is an easy one, I'm not gonna explain it, and that is if you have money, right? If you make over 6 figures and more, you are going to be in a small percentile of men. By the way, only 15 to 20% of men earn over 6 figures a year. So if you won't earn over 200,000 per year, you are in the 5 percentile of men, which is pretty crazy. So the more money you make, the more options you're gonna have. And number three, and I've mentioned this before in my videos, but if you're new, you haven't seen my stuff before, it's social status or perceived social status. Social status, the bartender in the restaurant, at the nightclub, has very high social status, way higher than you, man. Even if you're worth $15 million a year, he's got social status in that environment, way more than you. He's got women that he's serving drinks to, and they're flirting with him and all that stuff, and he makes 60 grand a year, right? In your mind, you're thinking, he's a freaking bartender. Doesn't even compete with me with my big $15 million of assets. Well, yeah, in that situation, he owns the place, man. He owns the place. The DJ owns the place. The bouncer owns the place. That's what I'm talking about, social status. If you are an influencer, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and you have thousands of subscribers, followers, and you just first meet the woman, she's going to care more about that than the fact you're a lawyer, partner, and some law firm, you're a spinal surgeon. She doesn't give a fuck about that. She doesn't. And you might think, yeah, but all women love money. Well, that's later. But I mean, initially, to get the foot in the door, and if that attraction is high enough, she's ultimately not going to care that you only make 60,000 a year. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Perceived social status, you're gonna hear me talk more about this in my videos, and that's peacocking. If you wear something loud, you've got and crazy, or just you stand out in that situation, in that crowd. You're wearing a fedora, you're wearing a cowboy hat, you're wearing a gold sequence blazer, whatever, studded sneakers, whatever it is, she's going to notice and she's gonna go, wow, that guy has confidence. And if he has that much confidence to have the balls to wear something so crazy like that in this place, then he must have high social status. All right. Appreciate you watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, especially what more wives can learn from escorts, okay? And whether you agree or not, because I want to hear from you. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.